Happy day, everybody. My name is Jeremy, and this is Barbecue Elementary. And today I'll be making a white miso-glazed smoked salmon with a gin yuzu Japanese highball to go along with it. Let's go.
Let's go to work.
If you haven't noticed, I've been cooking a ton on this kettle recently, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite methods. There was maybe a 10-cook learning curve, and now that I'm past that, things are really starting to feel like second nature. And now that I'm feeling a little more confident, I'm going to start testing out some products I've never used before, like these B&B charcoal briquettes that Cooking with Kunchi always talks about. I've really only ever used Kingsford briquettes or Rockwood lump charcoal like I mentioned in my video last week, so I am excited to see how these more consistent and bigger briquettes perform. So to get things started, I set up my Weber kettle for a pretty hot and fast smoking by filling the small side of the slow and sear nearly to the top with a full chimney of charcoal. Then I gave my grates a good cleaning before putting the lid on to preheat to 375 degrees. While the grill gets up to temp, I moved on to prepare the glaze to go on to the salmon. In my house, we typically cook salmon in a cast iron on the stove with a maple sriracha glaze, so I was pretty excited to try something new with this miso glaze. To make the glaze, I started off by getting 2 tablespoons of this white miso soybean paste from Norita. I then followed it up with 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Then 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar or mirin, and 1 teaspoon of honey. Then all I did was stir until creamy and all the lumps were gone. I then snagged these 3 vac-sealed salmon fillets. I think the next time I make this, I'll make sure to use skin-on fillets, but I wanted to use what I had. Then I brushed the glaze onto the fillets pretty liberally to pack on the flavor. When the grill got up to 375 degrees and was holding steady, I put the fillets onto the indirect side of the grill with the thicker part of the fillets facing the charcoal. These should take about 20-ish minutes to cook, so it'll give you a good amount of time to make yourself a cocktail. I started mine by making a 2-to-1 simple syrup, which is exactly how it sounds, 2 parts cane sugar to 1 part hot water, and mix till it's almost clear. Then I threw it into the squirt bottle and I was ready to rock. Then find yourself 2 ounces of your favorite citrus-forward gin like this Roku and put it into a Collins glass. Then half an ounce of that simple syrup and half an ounce of yuzu juice. Fresh squeezed is best if you have it. Then fill up the glass with ice and give it a good stir before topping the whole thing off with soda water. Then I found myself a cucumber and made a little ribbon for garnish. And there you have it, a little gin yuzu Japanese highball. Cheers. After 25 minutes and the internal temps were between 125 and 135 degrees, it was time to pull off the salmon. If I didn't have a fish turner, I probably would have been in a little bit of trouble, but luckily I got all these things out without making too much of a mess. Besides the little fat juices that came out where I had been testing temps, these things were looking pretty good. And I would say overall the prep and cook for both the salmon and cocktail went pretty smoothly, but I won't totally know until I give it a taste. I decided to try out the smallest one that I will say did get a little overcooked, but even that couldn't stop these things from tasting like sweet, smoky, umami fish candy. I'm giving this one a B-. And the cocktail was smooth, refreshing, and a really good pairing. I give it an A-. So overall, I'm going to give this combo a B and recommend you give it a try for yourself. And as always, thanks a million for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't to follow me along on my adventures through Barbecue Elementary.